The big homie. Salutations to the peoples and the trolleys. You know we can never forget about you. Without you, there would be no me. Of course. From the ground up. 53. Mm. Anyway, I believe when we left off last time, I was talking about being in Ely and my experience in that. You know, I'm pushing this along and I'm not mentioning a lot of stuff because I can't cover it all. But you know, just to um, give you an idea, as I was in Ely and in NSP on the street, things had got so out of hand between the Gershons and the '60s. Um, when Junebug got killed, after Junebug got killed, the war really didn't kick kick up, and I think Junebug got killed around 2000, something like that. And I told you the West Side Alliance was broken. R&P was captured for the killing of Scotty Skeet from K9. So it was kind of friction there. He was in the pen already. Um, Lil Draws from '60s. The one you could say really started this real issue with the '60s. He ended up getting killed at the Heritage. You know, um, Lil Kool-Aid from '60s. He ended up getting killed trying to put in some work on some verses. You know, that was a bloody year, and that was around the year 2000 and 2001 because the last ones to get killed was the two little youngsters, T-Boz and Lil Reg, the two little hitters from 60, and they got killed right there on Martin Luther King and Lake Mead by that McDonald's. And my homeboy Donald Ray Page, rest in peace, his son Lil Donnie was in the car. He lived, but the other two they died. Um, that's just to show you how bloody it was getting on the street. Now, me and Vato, which is a wacky, a little homeboy of mine, a little Indian. People think he a Mexican, but he Indian, I think. We became close at Ely. When I made it to Unit 8, we used to chop it up all the time at dinner. And I told him when he get, he put in to go to high desert. I wasn't cleared to go yet, but I told him when I get down there to have me some weed. And we used to, talk every day, and we got kind of close. But he ended up going down there. Now, mind you, when I get down there, this was my first time, first of all, being up on a level system. I didn't know nothing about no level system. So this level system was new to me, and this prison was new to me. I mean, they had the same aggressive approach as Ely and NSP with the, put your face against the wall type approach, real hostile when you get off the bus, don't move type approach, but the feel of it wasn't so maximum security. It was real big. It wasn't built like the normal prisons. It sat in the middle of the desert. Well, all of them sat in the middle of the desert. But this one here, it was so big. Unit 1 through 8. I mean, this was a huge yard, man. And the buildings are great, and they each building like unit unit 1 and 2, uh, they sit amongst each other in like their own little yards. So it's one big yard, and inside that one big yard sit a multitude of small yards. You know what I mean? And you have to go through a level system down there. Now today they build another part to it. It's a new part. It's called High Desert Correctional Center. It looks nothing like the old part, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about when I first get down there. Now, when I first get down there, the people that was at Gene, Nevada, the caseworkers like Miss Madlock, Miss Willick, um, all Miss Blake, Stroud, Miss Kozlov, her husband, Green, you know, all the police is Miss Gardner, um, all the polices that was at Gene and all them was at High Desert. So I knew a bunch of them, Big Denby, all of them. So when I get down there, Keystone, Frog Whack, J Loke was in the hole, Touch Tone was in the hole, Mad Bomber was in the hole, Randall was in the hole. They all got busted trying to bring in some dope. Vato Whack and all them was going through the level system. Pookie Red, all them was on the hole. It was 1,000 Gersons on that yard, man. It was so many Gersons on that yard, man. I couldn't believe it. It was like being in Indian Springs in 95, and 95, 96, 97, all over again. It was 1,000 Gersons on that yard. So when I get settled in, I'm in the unit with Shaka Zulu from West Coast Bloods. We down here in Unit 6, we in level 3. We ain't got no movement. We got to stay in the unit all day. When we do come out, it's on a small yard, you know, and they got a pole where you do dips and pull-ups at. It ain't no love. You know, you literally got to sneak and do everything you can. And it's always a police standing above you monitoring the gate, people coming in and out the gate to go to the big yard. So it's always, it was like depressing because, you know, it's like, man, you enclosed and all you could do is pull-ups and dips, and I'm used to lifting free weights, and I wasn't used to this. It's 1,000 people on this yard, you know, old Cali boys I got into it with back in the days. It was a lot of people on that yard. Sweet Pea was on that yard. It was so many people on that yard right there. Slim, Dread from IE Mob, Quick. Uh, uh, it was so many, man, people in that yard. Fishmouth from the hood, Pistol, Sweetback, Rado, uh, uh, Coop from West Coast Bloods, Lace from West Coast Bloods. It was so many people on that yard, man. It wasn't even funny, man. It was 1,000 people. Big Dan from Inglewood family that formed Golden Circle. Jewel from Golden Circle, from Rolling 40s. All these cats was down there on the yard now because it was so big. High Desert is meant to hold 10,000 people. It don't hold that right now, but it's designed to hold it in the future. So it had a lot of people in that yard. Now, when I first get down there, and the only freedom that we really got was when we walked to the kitchen. And in this walk to the kitchen, man, you got to have stamina, cause you really walking. It's a distance, man, for real. From the units to the chow hall is a distance. I don't care what unit you stay in. You go walk down a long sidewalk, either up it or down it. It's long, man. And when I used to go to the chow hall, Vato Whack used to work in the kitchen. Watawak used to come out there and wipe the tables off, or act like he used to be wiping the tables off. And he tell me, he said, "What's up, homie?" First he gave me a little ball of weed. He promised he was gonna have me a little ball of weed. He had the ball of weed, gave it to me. I tucked it. He said, "What's up, homie?" I said, "What's up?" He said, he shook his head at me. I like, what's happening? He like, "I don't like this." I'm like, "What you talking about?" He's like, "Man, wait till you find out what's going on down here." I'm like, "Man, what you talking about, homie?" He like, man, he just kept shaking his hand. And he had this look on his face like utter disgust. And I'm like, "What is you talking about? We deep, like, ain't, is he like?" So I'm not understanding what's going on, but I don't got the time for him to tell me. But he letting me know he not feeling whatever's going on down there. So I'm like, damn, that's on my mind now. I go back to the unit. Me and Shaka Zulu, we up in there, we kicking. Man, I'm not on that yard a month. When I hit that yard, this when Barry Bonds was hitting all these goddamn home runs and doing all that what he was doing, Barry Bonds. And the Giants, I think, went to the World Series. I think they lost. But anyway, it was this, incident on the tip. Barry Bonds, he was chasing, I guess Hank Aaron record or whatever. already, I guess, broke Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire record, home run season record. So it was all eyes on him before the steroid allegations and all that, right? So, you know, racism comes along with that. Hank Aaron black, so he ain't doing nothing but he attempting to break another black man's record. But you got dudes up in there that just got to find racism in anything. You know, when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa was doing their thing, it was all cool. But now that Barry Bonds is he standing alone doing what he doing, people want to hiss and want to slam microwaves and go loud, you know what I mean, and all that, you know. So I'm in my room, you know, I really don't too much care about no baseball. But I'm next door to some white boys, you know what I'm saying? One of them was this bald head white boy, never spoke. The other one was shaggy head, looked like he slept under a bridge, some motherfucker. But they both was racist. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time people watching, you know, the games, you can hear people shouting and cheering or whatever. And so one of the white boys said, bro, I can't wait for this shit to be over. I can't stand that shit. And he was like, one of them said, I know, bro. Fuck that dude, man. You know what I'm saying? That fucking and I swear to God, he called Barry Bonds a monkey motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And so I know what I heard, but they was in their room. But we, you know, our doors are wide open, so we can hear. You know, people be sitting at other people's doors on buckets and stuff. You know, people be huddled up in people's doorways, you know, watching the game. So these cats right here next door just didn't call Barry Bonds a monkey month. So I go around there. I say, hey man, what you say? So the shaggy haired white boy, he run his hand through his hair like, what do you mean, bro? I say, what you just say? Who you calling a monkey motherfucker? He was like, bro, I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to myself. I said, it don't matter. Who you calling a monkey motherfucker? Right? So when I went in the room, I didn't know Shaka Zulu peeped game. Shaka Zulu was right there on point. He wasn't saying nothing. You know, Shaka Zulu is this dark-skinned dude with yellow teeth. His name is Shaka Zulu for a reason. And he got a real deep voice. He talk like this. What's up, Shape? What's happening? You know, we need some cigarettes, Shape. You know, we need some coffee, Shape. He got this real deep, weird voice. But anyway, he kind of know martial arts. He think he do. You know what I'm saying? I think he hit some bad crack one day and just thought he knew karate all of a sudden. But he really think he know karate. But anyway, he was standing right there when I get into it with the white boys, right? So when I'm in their room, I'm like, you know, who you calling a monkey? And I'm getting real mad, like pressing this white boy. And you know, I didn't know that medication that they had me taking, because I was taking it at Ely for so long that when I got to High Desert, I stopped. I didn't want them to know that I was on medication. So I stopped taking it. And I didn't know that when you stop taking it, it has side effects. And this is one of my first time like noticing it, because the whole time I was at Ely, I was calm, cool, collective. I didn't get into spasms. I had disagreements with people, but the medication kept me basically drowsy and tired, and not, you know, feeling like I have the strength to want to fight. So when I stopped taking it after I got to High Desert, because when they went to, you know, when they got me there, and when I went through the process, I told them I got off it. I stopped taking it. Like I never took it, you know. And when the nurses asked me if there are any medications you take, I said no. So I stopped taking it. And after about 2-3 weeks, I didn't know that I was gonna suffer the side effects. Cinequan is a drug they don't even give out on in public, but they give it to you in prison. You can ask any doctor, ask him for Cinequan and watch him look at you and be like, "What's that?" They don't even give that to people, but they give it to us. And the side effects of it is so cold. Watch this. when I'm talking to the white boy, I didn't know that I was no longer slowed down. That in fact my body was speeded back up. You know, I never knew that the reason why I wasn't sleeping was because I stopped taking that medicine. I literally stayed up like 3, 4 days because I stopped taking the medicine. So I was always jittery and moving around, and I didn't know I was. So when me and the white boy get in a disagreement, I get so mad, like everything just went to a 10, like that. I wasn't used to that because I was so used to being sedated. But now that I wasn't, it went like, and I just took off on the white boy in his room. Boom! Hit him in his mouth. I ain't got my thing, so we ain't scrapping. The other white boy, he like got his hands in the air like, bro, I'm not getting in it. I'm not getting in it. Cause Shaka Zulu was already in the room. And so the white boy trying to get out the room, but Shaka Zulu wasn't having it. Shaka Zulu knocked him out. Bow! So Shaka Zulu smashing the white boy his celly. So we in there working the white boys. All you hear is do. Everybody run to the door and look in there. Me and Shaka Zulu, we in there tearing up the room. We beating the brakes off the white boys up in the room, right? So I realized that the things that I was doing, because I was not just fighting. I was really doing stuff that was like unbecoming of me. I was biting him and gouging at his eyes and trying to really do like savage stuff, like stuff that wasn't me. My nature was like it became feral. I was on some other stuff, man. I didn't know that that medication. My body had adapted to taking it because I was in an enclosed, and I was in a room, and that's all I took is medication. Now I got freedom, and I'm not taking it. The side effects of it was the anger that I suppressed was running rampant now, and when it came out like it came out. I was in there beating that white boy with his own uh, uh, utilities. I was in there slapping him with his own stuff, man. I was trying to kill him in his own room. We tore that room up, and that was one of the first signs of violence. And my attitude, I was always hostile. When I was at Ely, I was sedated, I was cool. But I'm not on that medicine. But my body craving it, it wanted it. And I'm not realizing that's what's wrong with you. Your body won't, that's why you always mad and irritated, because your body want that medicine. Them people put me on that stuff for so long. When they took me off it like I never was, first of all, you don't take nobody off nothing. You wean people off it. They lower the dosage, and then they take you off. You don't just take nobody off of nothing that they've been taking for so long, especially a psychotropic drug. You don't just take them off. The side effects of it could be dire. And the side effects of me being allowed to say no, I don't take nothing, and them not even investigating. My mindset, I was so hostile. You couldn't say nothing to me. Nothing. You couldn't say nothing to me. I remember I kept going to the hole. I was in Unit 3, and in Unit 3 I didn't even get to move around, but I went to the hole for fighting. We whooped the white boys. We went to the hole. Miss Madlock was the caseworker in the hole. She let us back out the hole. Miss Madlock always looked out. D.O. Madlock. Everybody know her. My daddy used to mess with her when he was in prison. They used to be his boo thing. So she treated me like I was her son. Every time I went to the hole, if it was a way for her to let me out, I got out. So I was right back on the yard. And I'm in level 2 this time. I didn't even go back to level 3, so she bumped me up a level. Now, I'm over here in level 2 and I get a little freedom. I get to come out a little bit more. I get to go to the chapel. I get to move around, you know what I mean? So, I'm moving around. And now I can sneak out like I want to. So I sneak out one day, and the first thing I realize is everybody hang out in front of the coffee shop. It's 1,000 people, man, on that yard, man. So you go see people you thought was lost in the system, lost in life, lost without a trace. It was so big, but everybody hung out in front of the like culinary and coffee shop area, and it's just a couple benches, but everybody just cluttered there for some reason. And one of the reasons was because it was easy to hide if you snuck out your unit. So I went up there, and I started seeing homies that I didn't really was on that yard, like Keystone and Frog and Lap from the Brownies, and all these people, Pookie Red, you know what I mean, Lamont, what's his name, Lamont Richards, all these people, man. It's so many people on that yard, right? So now Vato Wack, we can talk. So he said, "Hey man, let me holler at you." I'm like, "What's going on?" He said, "Man, you ain't gonna believe this." I say, "Believe what? What you talking about, man?" He like, "These dudes down here." I say, "Who?" He say, "The homies." He say, they on some cold gay shit." I say, "What you mean?" When I say, and he know I hate that. I hate that. Everybody know I hate that. He say, "Man," and I didn't know that the individuals he was referring to, they all right there standing around us. And Vato don't, he don't bite his tongue. But he was like shaking his head, like in disgust, like, and I was wondering why he was flashing on people. Like certain dudes couldn't give him K's. Certain dudes wasn't allowed to throw. And I swear to God, now I tell him in their face, it was certain. It was a little. Vato was a little short. He looked Hispanic, but he Indian, and he a straight rider. But this guy right here had rank and fear, especially amongst the whacks. But he had dudes scared to throw K's around here, and I didn't know. I didn't know what the hell was really going on. Now you say they on some gay shit. Now you got to be more precise in what you're talking about. What the hell going on? So now, all of a sudden, J Lo get out the hole. I didn't know J Lo had the yard sold up like that before. J-Lo was the man, just like Drive-By was on Indian Springs Yard. Just like Richie Rich was at Gene. J-Lo was the man. J-Lo was hitting. And I mean, hitting. J-Lo went out there and hit for that water, that Sherm. J-Lo was hitting for that weed. J-Lo was hitting. J-Lo was hitting. J-Lo was having so much money in high desert, it wasn't funny. And he was feeding the homies. And there was one homie in particular, old crackhead ass homie, touch tone. Now, when you play chess with a serpent, you expect him to be cunning and conniving. But this right here, this serpent here, he a special type of serpent. For real. This is a special type of serpent. If there's nobody around for him to bite, he's such a slime ball, he'll bite himself. You can get on it. But J-Lo, he get out the hole. I keep going back to the hole. I went to the hole in Unit 2 because we was on the pull-ups bars. And we was doing pull-ups, me, the homie D-Lo, I forget who was that, the little homie Tiny from K9. We was doing pull-ups and dips out there. And we try to be cordial with other races, but sometimes the Mexicans, now, and it's something new that started happening with them. I was used to the Mexicans that lift weights and played handball and played soccer. But down here, there was a new type of Mexican. And this how you know that California was really integrating into Nevada as far as the Mexicans was concerned. Uh, they went from doing that, playing handball, lifting weights, and doing, playing soccer and natural, being basic, to coming out here, out on the yard, breaking off in sets of 5 and doing burpees and paramilitary type training. Like they did this every day, like prepared for war. That's all they did. It was no more. They played handball, but we all knew it. Everybody played handball. It helps you swing a knife with efficiency. And if you good at aiming for pressure points, when you play handball, it's good for agility, velocity, and really, that's why if you ever got stabbed by a Mexican, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever got stabbed by one, it was quick, it was fast, and it was brutal. That's why they play handball. For real. Anyway, we was on a pull-up bars, man, and some Mexicans being disrespectful, and they was, you go, I go, he go, but they was cutting the line, and so I let it go the first time, but like I said, I was real irritated and I was easy to tick off. So when I went to do it again, the same Mexican, he get to look, and then when they do it, they act like they don't see you there. They get to looking at their chest and acting like you not there, and they just walk in front of you, And I was like, "Say, man, don't you see me right here?" He was like, "Well, go, dog." And I'm like, "What you mean, go, dog?" He said, "Well, go. Quit running your mouth." And that's all he said. I had teeth everywhere. Fired on him right there. Bow. We out there scrapping the essays right there in front of in front of you. What's that? Unit 6, Unit 7. Yeah, no, Unit 7. Unit 7 and Unit 8. We over there fighting the essays. You know what I mean? They shot it up. Do. I'm back in the hole. J-Lo get out the hole and move up the level system before I did, because I kept going back. But when I get out this time, I settle down. I try to give myself a chance. And J-Lo starts sewing up the yard. So I used to sneak out to go see him. What's happening? He done already cranked it back up. He back on deck, doing his thing. Him, Sweet Pea, Blue Balls, 60, everybody having money. So I sneak out the unit one day. I said, "What's up?" He said, "What's up, big homie?" I said, "Oh, nothing, man. It's been a long time, man. Man, I know, man. I ain't seen your ass in I don't know how long, man. I ain't seen you in I don't know how long, man." So we embracing, right? We chopping it up. So Frog Whack standing right there, right? So I'm like, "What up, Lily Pad?" That's what I call him, Lily Pad. I'm like, "What up, Lily Pad?" He like, "Shit." So we lock cage. And so I went, he had this green cup. I like the way that cup looked, right? So he had coffee in it. We all used to walk around drinking coffee. So J-Lo standing right there. He got this big smile on his face because he ain't seen me in so long. So when I go to reach for Frog Cup, he slapped my hand. He said, "No." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "No, man." So Frog Wax standing there like with this like confused look. I'm like, "Well, I can't. What's wrong with the coffee?" And I went to go grab it again. He slapped my hand. He slapped my hand hard. Like, "I ain't playing with you, no." I'm like, "What you mean, no?" And I'm looking at him like, "What's going on?" He like, "Man, no, man." And he looked at Frog, "Nigga, you better not get a homie that coffee, homie." I'm like, "What's going on?" Frog was like, "Man, don't nobody got an F with me. I'm Frog Whack. I do what I want to do." I'm like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Man. So I get tired. I do. I get tired of Lope talking about, foul dudes and Vato. So I called a meeting down there where we was. And everybody remember this meeting. It was a big meeting. And we grouped up on the side of unit 7. Thousands of us. Lap from the brownies, he on medication like I was. He so gone, he got food all on, like Mudford used to have food all on his shirt and all that old stuff. He posted up against the wall. He out of it. The only thing holding him up is the wall. He don't know where he at. So we all out there. I want to know what's going on, right? So when we get there, J-Lo say, all right, check this out. I'm letting you know right now. If we ask you something and you lie and I know you lie and you put it on the set, I'm knocking you out. I'm like, man, what the hell? Now, one thing I noticed off the top, Pookie Red ain't there. That's unusual. Because every time he got into something, he always had 1,000 of us either posted up somewhere to show whoever he got with what he can do, or, this neither here nor there, but he wasn't there. And he was the one that was supposed to be the head honcho. So without him being there, I found that unusual. Like, what's going on? So J-Lo was basically running the meeting. And I'm like, okay. I can't say nothing because I don't know what's going on. I'm all ears. So, look, I don't say stuff to put nobody on blast. This was a part of my life, and this is what happened. I didn't ask for it to happen. I wasn't the cause of it. Okay? This is what it is. I said when I got to High Desert, it is what it is. So, when we get at the meeting, J-Lo said, man, check this out. He said, these motherfuckers got homosexuals fighting in the chapel. I said, who? He pointed at Frog Whack, and it was another individual. I don't know. Now this I ain't gonna do because I don't want to say the wrong name. But it was Frog Whack and somebody else. They had homosexuals, and they both was cheating with each other homosexuals. So the homosexuals found out and started fighting in the chapel. And it was a 400-pound homosexual named Mother Love and another homosexual built like Terrell Owens named Harold. Harold, the one built like Terrell Owens, dropped the 400-pound fag in the church. Dropped him. He was like a bowling ball going through chairs in the chapel. Dropped. Then they're scrapping over these two cats. Yeah. So, when I heard that, I'm looking all upside frog head like, check this out, man. When we was at Indian Springs, you and Charles Webb, because we banned you from signing birthday cards because y'all was over there on that, But now you over here on that? J-Lo say, that ain't even it. That ain't even it. Tell him what you got caught doing. And he was like, tell him what you got caught doing. And you trying to pass though, you gonna let the homie drink after you? Tell him what I say, what did he get caught doing? Man, tell him what you got caught doing. I say, what did he get caught doing, man? He said, tell him what you got caught doing. Frog was like, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. Y'all ain't got no F with me, man. Y'all ain't got F with me. He was like, nigga, tell him what. And J-Lo and Frog was finna get down. And Frog wasn't trying to fight J-Lo. But J-Lo was getting mad because Frog wouldn't say what he did. So I'm like, tell me. I'm like, what the hell going on? So J-Lo said, this nigga was eating ass. Look, it's like when he said that, the crows that was sitting on the fence looked over there and was like, what? Everything stopped moving when he said that. And Lap, the one that was medicated up against the wall, I don't know what they had him on, and I'm pretty sure it was powerful. But when he heard what we heard, he came out there, he said, eating ass? Who eating ass? Hold up. Look, he was off the wall, walking around, asking who he. So I'm like, I'm like, he said that. He said, man, this nigga, he done got caught up under the boy bed. The police, the female that caught him all up under the boy bed, she come in the room, he hiding up under the bed, but one of his ass cheeks is up under. I'm like, whoa, hold on. And he said, it ain't just him. He pointed out where, and that's Bread nephew. He had a punk named Sharky, a white boy. Teeth looked like Naked City. For real. And he used to bring, because I used to wonder, who is this Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you looking ass white boy that y'all be bringing to this beat, man, with this beanie on that be trying to look like he trying to cover up and hide himself. That was a homosexual. He was bringing him to the meeting. I'm like, what the? Oh, what the? He said, man, this shit. So Vato was like, now you see what I'm saying? I'm like, who? And I'm like, what Pookie Red at? Vato said, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, look, man. He like, man, J-Lo was like, look, motherfuckers got to get handled, man. I don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers got to get dealt with. Motherfuckers got to get dealt with. Motherfuckers got to get off the yard. Oh, you motherfuckers got, y'all got motherfuckers looking around here like looking at us like we homosexual, like we gay. Yeah, around here doing all this nasty ass shit, like that shit cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, disciplinaries. I mean, immediately. So, me, Vato, and J-Lo, and Touch Tone, we start restoring order. And let's just say it's some dudes who still feel the wrath or the order. Because it wasn't just fraud, wet. It was a whole bunch of them. Like it was the thing to do. Now, mind you, the 60s not playing. They done lost Lil Draws, Kool-Aid. They really in their feelings, and it's evident on the yard. Pokey P and G'smar from LA 60s is running a 6-0 car. And they got some 60s down there, Dre, you know what I'm saying? There was a few of them down there, you know what I mean? They had a nice little squad, but it wasn't a lot of them. It was 1,000 of us, so they didn't present a threat to us. But G'smar, being a part of Golden Circle and being from Cali, had that alliance that would bring in the Cali boys should he get into something. So the 6-0s always had the Cali boys, you know, to have their back per se because of G'smar. And G'smar and Pokey P was like this, you know. And it's a trip because Pokey P is a Donald Lee. His brother Poppy and his brother James they all from the Gershon. They come up out of Jacobson Circle. They some kid to the McCoys. James, the oldest one, the second to the oldest one, because the oldest one is Poppy. James is the founder of K9, but he became a 60. But he's the founder of K9. Poppy's still a Gershon, and Pokey P, Donald, he became a 60 in prison when James Lee, his brother, became a 60. Because his case is with Two-Piece, who's a Gershon, and Phil Cool, but that's neither here nor there. But me and Vato them start making moves on the yard. We get at Pookie Red. He worked in the laundry room with Lamont. And we go up in there, me, J-Lo, and Vato Wack. I've been knowing Pookie Red all my life. Ronald and Donald Washington, Williams, Washington, whatever. I know their whole family. And Big May, Pookie Red, Pretty Pookie the Prophet, they daddy, all their sisters, I know them all. So I've been knowing him since we was babies. You know, I felt I could always go to him with any problem. So when we go up in there, and we like, hey man, can we holler at you? He like, what's up? He heard about the meeting. He heard it was 1,000 Gersons out there. He heard people been getting disciplined. He heard people ain't no longer on the yard. So he was like, you know, what's going on, man? Y'all be taking care of business? And we like, hey man, what's up with you? He like, what you mean? And I straight up asked him. I was like, hey man, how you let homies around here, you know, eat ass and mess with homosexuals and stuff like that, man? Man, they could do what they want to do. They grown, man. You know what I'm saying? And then the laundry room officer, Palmer, gay ass, he and I conversation like he a Gerson. He done gave Frog Whack a name, Freaky Deaky. So he and I conversation when we trying to talk to Pookie Red like he one of the homies. So everything that's been going on with the car, they been up in there telling this dude. So I'm in there, me and J-Lo, we looking at each other, and I can barely see. I'm squinting, we looking, but he can see the fume in my face. I'm like, and Vato Whack and Pookie Red getting into it. And this was the beginning of a long line of incidents of them getting into it. So I'm like, you saying that they grown, but I'm like, these is your homeboy's sons. You supposed to be the leader. You supposed to be, look, sheepdog, I can't tell nobody. I said, what you mean? But you can tell them to get out of here when you got into it with the Cali Boy Slim. What you do? You call for a 1,000 Gersons. You told them to be well. Down there by your unit, by the bleachers. When? After dinner. So what you mean you can't tell them what to do? You can tell them what to be when it's beneficial. But they're around here putting their lives at risk. I don't care that they grown. They babies. You've been doing this all your life. You're supposed to be a leader. And you can't blame it on a homosexual because that's his nature. They don't care. They gonna be gay whether you bust their heads today or tomorrow. They gonna still be gay. But if you're supposed to be running something and you allow that to happen, and just like the boy from 50, he called it, just like Gangsta Rob, he called it like it can't be caught. And you condoning this, man, that ain't cool, man. So look, me and Vato, we worked in the kitchen. So one night, we stealing chicken. He over there wrapping up chicken, I'm wrapping up chicken. We nonchalantly stuffing it in pockets we done made in our coats. We stealing and talking at the same time. Like, yeah, hey homie, I ain't feeling this. I'm like, what you want to do? He like, whatever. So what we basically was talking about was Number just said, overthrowing Pookie Red. So I'm like, that's the big homie though, you know what I'm saying? But it was a conversation like, we didn't basically say, hey, we gonna overthrow Pookie Red. We didn't say that. But we was like, you know, this restoring order is finna go to the top of the echelon. And J-Lo, being the money man and feeling the way we feeling, we got the power, we got the money. People coming to us and him for drugs. So we got the attention. We the somebodies. We the wise guys. We the mob. Pookie Red still looked up at as the leader, but people starting to look at us as the new Luciano, the new Genovese, the new Seagulls, the new Mylansky. Because the money coming to us now. They even got Touch Tone claiming Wackett. He got gray hair. He older than all us. They got Touch Tone claiming Whack. And he turned out to be the biggest snake in the pot. Now, when I come back, we make our move. Take over the yard. Take over the set. Remove Pookie Red from power. But the money, the attention, the restoring order, the power, once again, goes to my head. I don't know what it did to everybody else. That's their story. And this time, some get a hold of me that won't let go. And I find myself making some decisions because a riot took place between the blacks and the Mexicans. I'm gonna get to that. But before that happened, we started having our way, and friction started happening, internal friction started happening, and we make our move to, like I say, remove Pookie Red from power. And Vato Wack know what I'm talking about. And when I come back, you know, we start making moves on the chessboard. Until then, from the ground up. For everybody that's supporting, salutations. And for your trolls, salutations. I'm gonna tell you a cold thing, because I'm like the 48 Laws of Power, if you ever read it. You know how you got the actual book, and then on the side of it is connotations. You're a connotation, okay? An excerpt. Understand this here. I don't hide my face. You do. And I would too. Because whoever you are, you obviously know me. You do. That's why you hide your face. Because if you was a real whatever you got to say, you would say it to my face, face to face, like I would say it to yours. Maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't know. But like I say, without me, without you, there's no me. Troll, do what you do. I expect you to. And be here for the next episode. Bring your friends and make sure they like and subscribe. Till then, from the ground up.